Hello, my future wealth creators. It's Dr. Amy coming to you on a Friday. I'm so excited to be here with you. I want to first say, how are you doing? Hope everybody is doing well out there. And today is Friday, so I want to spend some time with you today and talk about my Financial Friday lesson. Today is Finance Friday. So today I want to talk about, I have my notes here. So everybody, this is my mini lesson on Fridays on finance. So I hope you are enjoying these finance sessions. So what I want to talk to you today about is how to get started with developing your personal financial plan. So many people don't already have a financial plan set up. So I want to give you some components of what needs to go into your plan so you can get started too. How about that? How about that? So take out your paper and a piece of pencils. A pencil and a piece of paper so you can start to jot some of these things down. But I just want to remind everybody that, this month I am promoting financial literacy, especially in the African American community in celebration of Black History Month. So I hope everybody's on board, especially my African American sisters and brothers. Like, let's do something different. Let's learn something different and apply it. Are you with me? I have several people who said they're with me, so let's get on board and get this done. So Black History Month, we celebrate our history, but we celebrate everybody. It doesn't matter what your race is. We help, we teach, we reach back. It doesn't matter who that is. So let's get started with the lesson. Today is how to get started with your financial plan. Now, before I even start talking about some things that goes into the financial plan, some elements of the financial plan, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about some basics that everybody needs to do before you even sit down and work out and write out your financial plan. And some of the basics is make sure you have the basics covered. I talk about this all of the time here on my little session. The basics is track your money, know where your money is going, and know your numbers, right? Remember that? By now, you should know exactly what it takes to run your home. Everybody's with me on that one. You know your numbers, right? You know your numbers. So if you're watching this video, I hope you can put in there, I know my numbers. You know exactly how much it takes to run your household. Some other basics is start to put something towards your emergency fund. So even if you're starting out where your first goal is to have at least $1,000 in an emergency fund. Everybody's with me? And of course, if your income is higher and you have more money, that $1,000 for you might be $5,000. For somebody else, it might be $10,000. It might be $25,000 or even $100,000 in your emergency fund. But what I would like everybody who can hear my voice, make sure you have at least $1,000. And if you don't have it yet, find a way to automatically save for every paycheck at least $25. Figure out what you can cut out to make sure that money is going in there until you get that $1,000. And then when I start telling you about how to create your financial plan, we'll raise that number a little bit. But that's the basics. So we're talking now about the basics. Make sure you are protecting your assets with some cash value life insurance policies and all of that stuff. And at a minimum, please make sure you are taking advantage of your employer's match at your company, your 401k, 403b, or whatever the government actually gives to you. Make sure you are at a minimum putting in what they are matching you. We don't want to leave any money on the table. Don't leave any money on the table. So if they are matching, make sure at a minimum you're putting in that amount. And then some of the other basics is please stop. We are agreeing that we're going to stop spending on non-essentials until we tackle our high interest credit card or high interest debt, right? So those are the things there. That's the basics. Now, let me go into telling you some basics that you want to do to start creating your financial plan. Now, I know when I first started looking at creating my financial plan, and years ago, I can remember I met with a financial advisor. But if you're anything like me, it's just you have some questions, right? Some things that need to be answered. I'm like, am I saving enough? How much insurance do I need? What is the IRA, the ETF, the 401k, the SEP, the Roth, all of that stuff? You want to start to figure out not what it is, but do I need all of that? Or there's some of the things that come to mind when you start thinking about a financial plan. I know it can be overwhelming sometimes, right? I know. Also, some of the things that, people start thinking about is what's the best way to pay for college for the kids and all of that stuff. So those are some questions that probably come to mind that needs to be answered when you're talking about creating or thinking about creating your financial plan. But here are some of the things that I want you to jot down. Here are some specific items, some steps, if you will, to create your financial plan. And the number one thing and the most important thing is you want to set some financial goals for yourself, right? What are some of the financial goals that you have, not just for today, but in your life? Some short-term goals, some things that you want to have done financially by the end of this year, some things that you want to have done in 2 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, and then long-term goal. What do you want when you look at the horizon in 10 years? What are some of the things that you want to do with your money? So the first step in creating your financial plan is to set some financial goals for yourself. All right, you have that jotted down. I'll take a second so you can write it down. Clarify your financial picture and fully articulate your financial goals. Step number 1. Set some financial goals for yourself. You have that? Then after you do that, number two, you want to conduct a financial analysis. And what a financial analysis is to know exactly where you stand financially, to know what's coming in, what's going out. And really, this is where we get our net worth and our financial picture, because all of your assets, the things that you own, minus all of your liabilities, the things that you have to pay on, equals your net worth. But when you are doing that, conducting that financial analysis, you're really sitting down and really jotting down on paper, oh my gosh, what's coming in, all of your income, your W-2 income, your side income, your dividends, everything, all of your income, and then you write down everything that's going out, your mortgage payment or your rent payment, your insurance, your life insurance, your health insurance, your car insurance, how much you're spending for gas every week, how much you're spending for food, how much you're spending at Starbucks, how much you're spending for the pets. I know I have some people in my community, and they love their animals, right? So how much are you spending for your pet, for pet care, for pet food? Sometimes we don't realize how much we have going out until we sit down. So this is where I can work with you and help you to get that financial analysis done. I can send you a form, you fill it out, and sometimes just working with a licensed financial professional can help you to trigger some of the things like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize I was spending that amount of money. So go ahead, get your credit card payment together, your bank statement together, where you can see everything that's going out, right? So you can get your financial analysis done. So number 1 was what? What do you have on your list? Number 1, you got it. Set some financial goals for yourself. What was number 2? You got it. Conduct a financial analysis. Now, after we do that, the third thing then is we want to establish a budget and some cash flow planning. So when we have our budget, here's what a budget is. It's really a way for we to tell our money what to do. We tell it where to go, what to do before we have it coming in. So budget and your cash flow planning. This is where you finally realize and recognize where your money is going. Then you tell it what to do. You set everything up on automatic to pay everything. So you get to spend your money on paper before you actually spend your money. That's really what a budget is about. So third is create your budget and your cash flow planning. All right. And also when I think about a budget, some other things too, this is where you probably notice, oh my, I can use some extra income coming in. So, this is where then we'll start talking to you. You can give me a call and let me help you brainstorm on some ways that you can create some extra income. And remember, my philosophy is let's start a side business so we can take advantages of some tax deductions, and then also you can bring some extra income in. But also this is where a lot of people ask about credit repair. If your credit is great, I'm happy for you, but I know a lot of people need help in that area too, so we don't exclude anyone. If I can help you to work on your credit, that's what I'm going to do for you too. All right. So number 4 is, after you've set some financial goals, you did your financial analysis, you have your budget now. For me, I'm going to help you to attack your high interest debt. I call it high interest debt elimination. So notice I didn't say, oh, let's pay off all of our debt, because no, there's such thing as good debt. If you have your mortgage, that's a good debt, right? That's low interest debt. Your student loan is probably low interest debt. So we'll circle back to that stuff later. But as a part of your financial plan, the 4th thing is to attack that high interest. So high interest debt elimination. That's what I want you to write down for number 4. You have that down? Number 4 is high interest debt elimination. So those credit cards that could be 18, 22%. We want to work on a plan to smash those out of the way as soon as possible so you can stop giving your money to these banks in interest. You got that? So then the 5th step then in creating your financial plan, this is now where you have your goals, you have your budget. We have worked on your high interest debt elimination. Now we're going to amp it up a little. Instead of that $1,000 in your emergency fund, now we're going to start working towards creating 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses for your emergency fund. How does that sound? So we're going to shift from $1,000 and now work towards having at least 3 months of your full living expenses, right? So at least 3 months, and then we're going to keep working until we get 6 months. And if you're working with me for a year, I'm going to push you to have at least a year's worth of living expenses, because things happen. People get sick, there are accidents, people get laid off from their jobs, and we as wealth creators, we're not going to worry about what happens, because we are going to do the right thing now with our money and make sure we have 3 to 6 months in our emergency fund. Is that something you think you can do? Is that something you would be willing to do? Is that something you're doing? Let me give credit and high five, because I know a lot of people in my community are already doing this. And for those who are not doing it yet, it's okay. It's great. That's why you're here listening, so you can learn how to do it. So 5th is 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses in your emergency fund. That's number 5. All right. So now we're going on. We're talking about creating our personal financial plan today. If you're joining us late, we have given you 5 things that you want to do, and going on to the 6th. Next is focusing on, now we're going to move into focusing on our insurance coverage. These things are very important, because let me tell you, not having the right coverage is what wipes out a lot of families. So we're talking health insurance, and I know the majority of the people get their health insurance through their job, which is good. And then those who are not working for whatever reason, you can go to the market to get the Obamacare insurance, but please make sure you have some type of health insurance, right, just to cover you. And then disability insurance, where if you get sick, I can remember last year, I got pneumonia, for example, and it just so happened I was working a contract and I was covered. So I got pneumonia. I was out of work for 12 weeks. And that disability kicked in. First, you go 6 weeks of short-term disability. And then if something happens and you can't return to work at that time, it'll go into long-term disability. But that is great. Most jobs have short-term disability where you can at least get like 60% of your pay. But if you don't have it, it's not a problem. You can purchase some disability income insurance, or in most of the new types of life insurance, because remember, life insurance is about living. We're not talking death insurance when you're gone and somebody else is going to benefit. We're talking about living life insurance. Believe it or not, most of them now have riders or things where if you have a critical, chronic, terminal illness, you can then pull some of that money off of that life insurance policy to pay your bills and take care of yourself. Did you know that? I try to mention it every now and then for everybody to know about the new types of life insurance, which I like to call living insurance, because you get to use some of those benefits while you're still living. So 6 was insurance coverage. Let's make sure we have that. Your basic health insurance, disability insurance, and life or living insurance. So that's one of the areas where you can certainly email me, Dr. Amy at amyhimes.com, and I can give you an estimate, or somebody from my office can do that. All right, so we're up to number 7. Let me just review quickly. Number 1 was set some financial goals. Number 2 was conduct a financial analysis. Number 3 is budget and cash flow planning. 4 was high interest debt elimination. 5 was your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. And number 6, to creating your financial plan, was to have some insurance covered. Make sure you have that insurance coverage. Number 7, to creating your financial plan. I don't have it written down, but I'm going to say too, once you have all of those things done, I'm going to add in here, this is where you can then start now investing, right? Taking advantage of the stock market, looking into real estate investing, purchasing more of those EFTs. So 7 is now you want to really get into investing and looking at some things there to grow your money, where you're getting 8, 10 real estate investing. You can flip a house and see a 25% return. Oh, I loved real estate investing when I was really heavy into that, but it'll grow your money very quickly. But the next one then is a part of creating your financial plan, is looking at estate planning and retirement planning. So this is where I want everybody in the sound of my voice. You guys, let's make sure we have our wills done, right? Your will, your power of attorney, your advanced health care directives. Make sure you have your beneficiary designated. But really, that last will and testament is so important, because if you don't have a will, you're going to go into probate. And if anybody knows you've ever had to be bothered with probate when someone passed, it is not an easy thing, and it can really cause a lot of strife within the family also with that. So make sure, let's do our will now and tell where we want things to go. And what's even more important is that advanced healthcare directive. If you get sick, so you can put in writing who's going to make those decisions for you. But also, as a part of estate planning, once you get your will and you get some of these other things up and running, then eventually, you're talking about creating some trust, right? Your revocable trust, and there's so many different types of trust. And if you want more information on that, I can certainly share more information at another time. But you want to avoid probate, so make sure and get that will done. And also, when we talk about retirement planning, this is important too, to talk about spending some of your time learning how to have some of that tax-free retirement, because 401k and 403b, what you're doing when you contribute into those accounts, that money is going in on pre-tax dollars. So which means that you are deferring your tax payment. Uncle Sam, he's always in our business, and they want the money. So all of that deferring that you're doing now, well, when you retire and or pull money out at, after 59 and a half, you pull the money out, you're going to have to pay taxes on that money. And forbid, if you pull that money out before 59 and a half, then you're going to pay that penalty, which is a lot. So we hope that whatever money you have in there, you don't pull it out before 59 and a half, because then you're going to have to pay the penalty. But even after you're older than 59 and a half or 60, and you get to retirement age and you want to use your 401k money, you're going to pay taxes at whatever income bracket you are in. And I can remember when I was younger, prior to really understanding and getting the knowledge, I used to think, oh yeah, put all your money in your 401k because you'll be at a lower tax bracket. But guess what? If you're in our Wealth Creator group, you're not going to have lower money, because you're going to learn how to grow your money. So I'm not going to get into a lower tax bracket. So I know that it's important to also be able to put some of your money in a tax, so you can pull it out tax-free at the end, and also learn how to put more money into these products and tools where you can become your own bank and use your own money. So if you've never heard about that or don't know how to do that, please send me an email, dramy@amyhimes.com, so I can help you to do that. So that's my Friday finance lesson for you today, and it is let's create our financial plan. Doesn't have to be anything so elaborate like some of these people want to have you to do. It just start out. You have the basics. I think you should have gotten all of the steps that I said, but start jotting those things down, and I am here to help you. If you send me an email, I will send you a free form where you can start to jot all of those things down, and you can have the form now. If you decide to work with me, fine. If you decide not, fine. I'm still willing to give you the form for free so you can have your do your financial analysis. So just go ahead and send that request to me at dramy@amyhimes.com, and I'll send the form right on over to you. Even if you decide not to work with me, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to make sure that you and everybody around you is taken care of. All right. So that's my message for you today. Thank you guys so much for listening in. I see one person joining me live. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, my old buddy that we used to work together. Hi, Jennifer. So great to see you joining me live. So please spread the message so we all can become wealth creators. We want to be able to play together and go on our nice trips and on our vacations together. And we need to have some extra money to do it. So let's get going, everybody, so we can have some time where we can take vacations and play and hang out together. I'm Dr. Amy. I am your life coach, your executive coach, and your financial leader. I want to help you to grow your money. And I'll see you right back here the next time. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Love, love. Bye-bye.